The dismissal. The grand chamber of the Galactic Council shimmered with impossible architecture. Beings from 1,000 worlds gathered beneath a crystalline dome that displayed real-time views of the cosmos. Ambassador Zix of the Meridian Collective floated at the central dais, his translucent body pulsing with bioluminescent patterns as he began the proceedings. Esteemed members, his synthesized voice resonated through neural translators. We gather today to assess a newly discovered species from Sector 2749. They call themselves humans, inhabitants of a planet they've named Earth. The chamber filled with various sounds of interest and mild amusement. Many delegates had never heard of this backwater world until now. The Thorian ambassador, a massive creature covered in living armor, leaned forward with visible disinterest. Another primitive species, the Thorian, rumbled. How tedious. Let us be done with this quickly. Zix activated the holographic display, showing images of Earth and its inhabitants. Several delegates made dismissive gestures as they observed the seemingly fragile bipedal creatures. Physical analysis reveals significant limitations, Zix continued. They possess no natural defenses, minimal sensory capabilities compared to galactic standards, and require constant intake of organic matter to survive. Their lifespans barely exceed 100 of their planetary cycles. High Chancellor Vexlor of the Arcanian Empire, a being of pure energy contained within a crystalline matrix, pulsed with curiosity. What of their technological achievements? Primitive at best, Zix replied. They've achieved basic space travel but remain confined to their own solar system. Their weapons rely on chemical propellants and nuclear fission. They haven't even unified their planet, still divided into competing nation-states. Laughter echoed through the chamber. The Saurian delegate, whose species had conquered interstellar travel millennia ago, made a dismissive gesture with her tail. Another species to add to the protected primitives list. Classification level 5, I presume. Indeed, Zix nodded. They pose no threat and require no immediate intervention. Perhaps in a few thousand cycles, they might achieve level 4 status. Just as the council prepared to vote, the chamber's massive doors opened. A lone figure walked in, wearing a simple black uniform adorned with a blue and white insignia. The assembly fell silent, shocked that a human had somehow bypassed their security protocols. Victoria Reed, Earth's first interstellar ambassador, strode confidently to the center of the chamber. Her steel-gray eyes swept across the alien faces, showing neither fear nor reverence. Distinguished members of the Galactic Council, she said, her voice clear and unwavering. I am Ambassador Victoria Reed of the United Earth Government. We've been monitoring your communications and decoded your assessment protocols. While we appreciate your evaluation, I must inform you that your conclusions are fundamentally flawed. The chamber erupted in various sounds of outrage. Zix's bioluminescence flared with indignation. How dare this primitive interrupt our proceedings? Security. Reed raised her hand, and to everyone's astonishment, the security systems remained inactive. We've temporarily disabled your defensive measures, she explained calmly. Not as a threat, but to demonstrate a point. You've underestimated us. She touched a device on her wrist, and the chamber's holographic systems displayed new images, human achievements the Council had overlooked. Underground cities on Mars, space stations hidden in asteroid fields, and theoretical physics papers that challenged established galactic science. You see our divisions as weakness, Reed continued. We see them as strength through diversity. You mock our technology as primitive, yet you fail to notice how quickly we advance. In the span of a single human lifetime, we went from horse-drawn carriages to landing on our moon. The Thorian ambassador recovered from his shock and growled, pretty words from a species that still wages war among themselves. What could you possibly offer the galaxy? Reed's expression hardened. Perspective. Innovation born from necessity. And a warning. Do not mistake our current state for our potential. The assembly laughed, but their amusement was cut short when alarms suddenly blared throughout the station. Emergency broadcasts flooded the communication channels. The Zorak Empire, notorious for enslaving lesser civilizations, had launched an attack on Kepler 452 bits, humanity's first extrasolar mining colony. The Council watched the tactical displays with detached interest. The Zorak were sending 50 warships against a colony defended by only 5 human vessels. It would be over in minutes. A regrettable incident, Zix commented. The humans should have known better than to establish colonies without proper protection. Reed remained motionless, a slight smile playing at the corners of her mouth. You're about to witness why your assessment was flawed. The tactical display showed the Zorak fleet approaching the human colony in standard invasion formation. Suddenly, space itself seemed to ripple. 200 human warships materialized from nowhere, surrounding the Zorak fleet in a perfect sphere. Impossible, several delegates exclaimed. Where did they come from? Dimensional phase technology, Reed explained. Something your scientists deemed theoretically impossible for space combat. We proved them wrong. What followed stunned the Council into silence. The human ships didn't engage in traditional naval formations. Instead, they moved like a coordinated swarm, using gravity wells as weapons, turning asteroid fields into minefields, and employing tactics that defied conventional military doctrine. The Zorak's advanced energy shields proved useless against humanity's hybrid weapons, a combination of kinetic projectiles wrapped in quantum fields that phased through defensive barriers. Within 30 minutes, 40 Zorak warships were disabled, and the survivors were retreating in panic. The Council chamber remained deathly quiet as the battle concluded. Ambassador Zix's bioluminescence had dimmed to almost nothing. This cannot be. You're using technologies that should be beyond you for millennia. Reed turned to face the assembly. You judged us by what we are, not what we can become. You saw our struggles and called us primitive, never realizing that adversity breeds innovation. You observed our conflicts and deemed us violent, never understanding that we fight hardest to protect what we love. High Chancellor Vexler's energy form flickered uncertainly. What do you want? Recognition, Reed replied. A seat on this council with full voting rights, and a complete revision of how you assess and classify developing civilizations. The Thorian ambassador slammed his armored fist on his console. Impossible. You cannot simply demand. We're not demanding, Reed interrupted. We're informing you of the new reality. The footage you just witnessed. That battle ended 3 days ago. We delayed our response to give you time to witness it here today. She activated another display, showing human fleets positioned near dozens of developing civilizations across the galaxy. We've been protecting species you've classified as primitives, defending them from predators while you debated their worthiness. The implications hit the Council like a shockwave. Humanity hadn't just hidden their true capabilities. They'd built a galaxy-spanning defense network without anyone noticing. You have a choice, Reed said. Accept us as equals and help us protect the vulnerable, or continue your outdated policies and risk becoming irrelevant. The Council chamber erupted in chaos as delegates argued amongst themselves. Through it all, Victoria Reed stood calmly at the center, knowing that humanity had just changed the galaxy forever. The vote that followed would mark the beginning of a new era, one where Earth would no longer be dismissed as just humans. The Awakening. 3 days after the shocking defeat of the Zorak fleet, the Galactic Council reconvened in emergency session. The Grand Chamber hummed with tension as representatives from across the galaxy struggled to process what they'd witnessed. The defeat of a major military power by a supposedly primitive species had shattered their understanding of the cosmic order. Ambassador Zix of the Meridian Collective struggled to maintain his composure, his bioluminescent patterns flickering erratically. Beside him, High Chancellor Vexler's energy form pulsed with agitation. The human delegation, Ambassador Victoria Reed, Admiral Chenwei, and Dr. Sarah Kovacs, sat in what had previously been the observer's gallery, now elevated to a position of prominence. Order. Zix's voice crackled through the neural translators. We must address this. unprecedented situation. The humans have demonstrated capabilities far beyond our initial assessment. Ambassador Reed, you have the floor. Reed stood, her calm demeanor a stark contrast to the chaos around her. Thank you, Ambassador Zix. Before we proceed, I believe a proper introduction is in order. She gestured to her companions. Admiral Chenwei leads our Deep Space Fleet, and Dr. Sarah Kovacs heads our Advanced Sciences Division. The Arcanian delegate, a creature of living crystal, chimed with skepticism. How did you hide such technological advancement from our sensors? Our assessment teams are never wrong. Dr. Kovacs stepped forward, activating a holographic display. Your teams aren't wrong. They're just limited by their own preconceptions. You scan for energy signatures you recognize, search for technologies that mirror your own development paths. Humanity took a different road. The display showed Earth's true infrastructure. Massive underground complexes spanning continents, orbital shipyards concealed within asteroid fields, and research facilities hidden in plain sight as ordinary buildings. For 50 years, Admiral Chen explained, we've been preparing, not for conquest, but for the day when we'd need to defend ourselves against those who view developing species as prey. The Saurian ambassador hissed in disbelief. 50 years. That's barely a moment in galactic terms. How could you advance so quickly? Reed smiled. That's the power of human ingenuity under pressure. When we discovered we weren't alone in the universe, we knew we had limited time. So we compressed centuries of development into decades. Dr. Kovacs continued the presentation. We developed quantum computing by studying the background radiation of collapsed stars. We cracked faster than light travel by observing how certain plants communicate across vast distances. We created dimensional phase technology by studying the migration patterns of quantum butterflies. The council members exchanged bewildered glances. These were approaches no established civilization had considered. But your society remains divided, the Thorian ambassador protested. How can you achieve such unity of purpose? Our divisions are our strength, Reed replied. Different cultures approach problems differently. While one group pursued antimatter research, another focused on biological computing. Competition drives innovation. Cooperation ensures survival. The hologram shifted to show the recent battle with the Zorik fleet from multiple angles. Let me show you what you missed, Admiral Chen said. Watch carefully. The recording played, but this time with tactical overlays. The Council saw how human ships used micro-wormholes for instantaneous communication, how they bent local space-time to create gravity traps, and how their weapons phased between dimensions to bypass shields. Impossible, whispered the Zorik ambassador, who had remained silent until now. These technologies violate fundamental laws of physics. No, Dr. Kovacs corrected, they'd violate your understanding of physics. The universe is far stranger than your textbooks suggest. High Chancellor Vexler's energy form stabilized as understanding dawned. You didn't just prepare for defense. You've been studying us, learning from us, while appearing primitive. Exactly. Reed nodded. We observed how you treat developing civilizations. We watched as the strong preyed upon the weak while this council debated classifications and protocols. And we decided that someone needed to act. The hologram expanded to show a galaxy-wide network. Human ships patrolled near vulnerable civilizations. Hidden observation posts monitored aggressive species, and rapid response fleets stood ready to intervene. Over the past decade, Admiral Chen revealed, we've prevented 17 genocides, stopped 32 invasions, and protected 43 developing species from exploitation. All while you believed we couldn't even leave our solar system. The chamber fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity hadn't just hidden their capabilities. They'd assumed the role of galactic protectors without anyone realizing. Why reveal yourselves now? Six asked, his voice subdued. Because the Zorik attack forced our hand, Reed explained, and because it's time for change. The galaxy needs new perspectives, new approaches to old problems. She activated a final display showing statistical projections. At the current rate, 30% of developing civilizations will be conquered or destroyed before reaching spaceflight capability. That's unacceptable. The Thorian ambassador, who had been humanity's strongest critic, spoke with newfound respect. "What do you propose?" "A new charter," Reed declared, "one that protects developing civilizations, encourages technological exchange, and creates a rapid response force to counter aggression." "And I suppose you want to leave this force?" the Arcanian delegate asked skeptically. "No," Reed smiled. "We want to share it, train others in our methods, create a truly united galactic community." The chamber erupted in discussion. Some delegates were outraged at humanity's deception, others impressed by their achievements. But all recognized that the balance of power had fundamentally shifted. Ambassador Zix called for order. "The humans have made their position clear. They possess technology rivaling our most advanced members, maintain a fleet capable of challenging any power, and have already established themselves as protectors of the weak. The question before us is not whether to accept them, but how to integrate them into our structure." High Chancellor Vexilor pulsed thoughtfully. "Perhaps it's time we reconsidered our entire approach to galactic civilization. The humans have shown us that our arrogance blinded us to potential. How many other species have we dismissed too quickly?" The vote that followed was contentious but decisive. Humanity was granted full council membership with immediate effect. More importantly, the council agreed to establish a joint task force to review their classification system and create new protocols for protecting developing civilizations. As the session concluded, Victoria Reed approached Ambassador Zix. "Thank you for your open-mindedness." Zix's bioluminescence shifted to patterns of respect. "Thank you for not destroying us when you could have. I suspect that restraint, more than your technology, proves your worthiness." Reed smiled. "We're all in this together, Ambassador. It's time the galaxy learned that strength comes in many forms, and sometimes the most powerful civilizations are the ones that choose not to conquer." Outside the chamber, Admiral Chen received an urgent communication. Multiple aggressive species, emboldened by the Zorek defeat, were mobilizing their fleets. The real test of humanity's resolve was about to begin. The reckoning. The news of humanity's true capabilities spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Within hours of the Council's emergency session, 7 major military powers began mobilizing their fleets. They viewed Earth's revelation not as a deterrent, but as a challenge to their dominance. In the human command center hidden within Jupiter's Great Red Spot, Admiral Chen Wei studied the tactical displays with grim determination. Ambassador Reed and Dr. Kovacs stood beside him as reports flooded in from across the galaxy. "The hegemony is moving 3 battle groups toward the Epsilon Eridani system," reported Commander Jackson. "The Krell Empire has dispatched raiding fleets to test our outer defenses, and the Dominion." He paused, double-checking his data. "The Dominion has launched their entire armada." Reed's expression remained calm. "They're testing us. They want to see if we can fight on multiple fronts." "Let them test," Chen replied. "Activate Protocol Prometheus. All hidden fleets to standby positions. It's time to show them why Earth survived." Across human space, dormant systems awakened. Ships that had been disguised as asteroids, space stations that appeared abandoned, and entire moon bases, thought to be geological formations, revealed their true nature. The galaxy watched in astonishment as humanity's true military might became visible. The first challenge came from the Krell Empire. Their raiders attacked a human mining outpost in the Outer Rim, expecting an easy victory. Instead, they encountered something unprecedented. The miners themselves fought back, not with conventional weapons, but with mining equipment modified into devastating combat tools. Plasma cutters designed for asteroids sliced through Krell armor. Gravity tractors meant for moving ore became weapons that crushed enemy ships. "Every human is a potential soldier," Chen explained to his staff. "Our civilians aren't helpless. their reserves waiting to be called. The Krell fleet, expecting to face 5 defender ships, found themselves surrounded by 50 vessels that seemed to appear from nowhere. Civilian transports that transformed into warships, cargo haulers that deployed hidden weapons, and mining drones that became fighter squadrons. Within an hour, the Krell raiders were either destroyed or captured. But this was just the beginning. The hegemony attacked next, targeting the young civilization of Proxima Centauri that humanity had been secretly protecting. Their battle groups emerged from hyperspace in perfect formation, shields at maximum, weapons charged. They were met by Commander Maria Santos and the Third Fleet, who introduced them to humanity's most terrifying weapon, the quantum entanglement cannon. The QEC didn't fire projectiles or energy beams. Instead, it created quantum links between target atoms, causing enemy ships to literally tear themselves apart at the molecular level. We learned this from studying quantum pairs in binary star systems, Dr. Kovacs explained to the horrified council observers. The universe itself taught us how to fight. But the real test came from the Dominion, the galaxy's most powerful military force. Their entire armada, over 1,000 warships, converged on Earth itself. They broadcast their terms: unconditional surrender or total annihilation. Earth's response was not what they expected. Instead of meeting them in space, humanity activated the solar defense grid. Every planet, moon, and major asteroid in the solar system revealed hidden weapons platforms. The sun itself became a weapon as humanity triggered controlled solar flares directed at the enemy fleet. Admiral Chen addressed the Dominion commander directly. "You came to our home system expecting to find prey. Instead, you've entered the most heavily fortified stronghold in the galaxy. Would you like to reconsider?" The Dominion, in their arrogance, pressed their attack. They quickly learned why that was a mistake. Mercury's surface split open, revealing massive railguns that fired projectiles at near-light speed. Venus's acidic atmosphere had been weaponized, launching corrosive clouds that ate through shields and armor. Mars deployed swarms of nanobots that infiltrated enemy systems, turning their own ships against them. But the true surprise came from Earth itself. The planet's magnetic field, long thought to be a natural phenomenon, revealed itself as humanity's ultimate defense system. It could be focused and directed, creating electromagnetic pulses that disabled entire fleets. "We didn't just prepare for war," Chen explained to his shocked opponents. "We prepared for survival. Every aspect of our solar system has been turned into a weapon. The question is not whether you can defeat us, but whether you can survive the attempt." Within 6 hours, the Dominion Armada was in ruins. Their commander, humbled and defeated, asked for terms of surrender. "We don't want your surrender," Reed told them. "We want your cooperation. The galaxy faces threats greater than any single species: ancient machines awakening in dead systems, extragalactic invaders probing our borders, cosmic phenomena that threaten all life. We need to stand together." As the dust settled, representatives from across the galaxy gathered once more in the council chambers. This time, humanity sat at the head of the table. For too long, Reed addressed the assembly. "This council has been paralyzed by bureaucracy and self-interest. Civilizations have been lost while you debated their worth. No more." She activated a holographic display showing the new Galactic Defense Network. "We propose a united galactic alliance. All species, regardless of technological level, will be protected. All knowledge will be shared. All threats will be faced together." High Chancellor Vexlor, speaking for many, asked, "And who will lead this alliance?" "We all will," Reed replied. "Rotating leadership, with every species having a voice. Humanity doesn't seek to rule. We seek to serve." The vote was unanimous. The old order had fallen, and from its ashes rose something new. A galaxy united not by force, but by shared purpose. In the months that followed, humanity's influence spread rapidly. Their technologies were shared freely, their protection extended to all who needed it. Species that had been enemies for millennia found common ground through human mediation. Admiral Chen established the Galactic Defense Academy, where beings from all worlds learned humanity's unconventional tactics. Dr. Kovacs created the Universal Science Exchange, breaking down barriers between different technological traditions. But perhaps the most significant change came in how the galaxy viewed developing civilizations. No longer were they seen as primitives to be exploited or protected, but as potential partners with unique perspectives to offer. A year after humanity's emergence, Ambassador Reeves stood before the Council for a progress report. Beside her was a representative from Kepler 22 bits, a civilization that had achieved spaceflight just months ago with human guidance. "This is what we can accomplish together," Reed declared, "not through conquest or domination, but through cooperation and mutual respect." The ancient prophecies had spoken of a young race that would unite the galaxy. Most had assumed it would be through military might. None had imagined it would be through something as simple and as powerful as human compassion. As Earth's fleets continued their patrols, they carried a new motto emblazoned on their hulls: strength through unity, progress through diversity, peace through vigilance. The galaxy had once laughed at humanity, dismissing them as just humans. Now that phrase carried a different meaning entirely. To be just human meant to be innovative, resilient, and fiercely protective of those who couldn't protect themselves. The stars were no longer divided by fear and mistrust. Under humanity's guidance, they shone brighter than ever before, united in purpose and hope for the future. And somewhere in the depths of space, new civilizations looked up at the stars, unaware that they were already under the protection of a species that refused to let them face the darkness alone. The age of human ascendancy had begun, not through conquest, but through the most human trait of all, the unshakable belief that together we are stronger.